as we saw in the Group A, there's ends going through and the gamers origins, but it's time for Group B. And what a fight we're going to have in our first match. It's between the Helsinki Reds and the new NYYRIKKI Esports going head-to-head. What do you think about the new organization?
I don't know. We'll see how they're going.
Going against Helsinki EFK, if I may, does that bring any good, nice tone into it?
I think we're in a good position to play against them because nobody knows anything about us. I'm just going to say that today Helsinki is going to be blue.
Anything to come back to that?
Well, let's see how it goes.
All right, they're ready to play, so please shake hands. And when the boys are walking to their computers, it is time to give it to our not so lame casters. English, Jason Kaplan, take it away. Suomeksi.
Winter Assembly. I mean, I remember hearing about the Helsinki Reds and all sorts of just Finland-oriented tournaments, and never really have broken out just yet. We watched a little bit of them the other day. They like to run in triple DPS. They're going to rotate a diva in here and there. The NYYRIKKI team is a team based on, this is my one fun fact of them, it's based on the Norse god of the hunt. That's where their name is from.
I too can use Google. Didn't use it though, so credit to you for
doing
it.
No, I read some article that someone smarter than me wrote, which is how I learned everything. That's how you learn.
That's a good way to learn, actually.
Yeah, that's how the process is. You don't want to read an article by someone dumber than you. I mean, you read my stuff, so I guess it doesn't work out.
I don't actually read your stuff.
I don't actually make stuff,
yeah,
so there it is. Yeah.
I could have said something really good about like Harsha or something, like a sideshow or Admiral over on over.gg, but then they wrote nice things about it.
Harsha is funny, and maybe we'll get back to this point later, but you talk about a salt mustache. I mean, do you see his recent mustache?
You know what that's from, right? You have to know what that's from.
Oh, yeah, Super Troopers.
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, you thinking I don't know about Super Troopers, meow?
What's the name? Hey, Farva, what's the name of that one restaurant?
With the mozzarella sticks and the crap on the wall?
Yeah.
Shenanigans? You guys talking about shenanigans?
Oh, that's so good.
Right.
So good. All right. Just get a liter of cola. I don't want to say that.
Yeah,
so back to this.
This is why we have a stage host generally.
Yeah, and we did have one. I think from what I can read in chat, you could actually hear them at the same time, or you heard them but not hear us.
All right.
I don't know which one it went.
Yeah, either way.
So we're just going to assume you heard what we were saying because we're casters and you better be listening to
Okay.
us. So Group A, if you missed out on that, we could do a quick recap of that. I'm not sure if we have a graphic to show you, but we did have the likes of what? We had Ensign there. We had Gamers Origin.
Yes.
We had RV. You can try pronouncing it again. I do apologize, but it's just I don't want to like butcher it.
No,
so
I had my phonetics, but no, I don't have it anymore.
So RV.
Yeah.
And the last team was Boom Esports from Estonia.
Yes.
And we ended up seeing Ents and Gamers Origin. Well, Gamer Origin moving through for first seed.
Yeah, chalk. Expected. The only surprise there was that Ents was able to take a game off Gamers Origin. Of course, we didn't see that was off stream. So that bodes well for Ents going forward. This group, we have Giga. And they're the former NIP, RIP guys. Everyone expects them to be moving forward. So after that, it's kind of wide open. You'd have to say that ASUS would be an underdog going forward. And Helsinki, you said there's some pressure on them, but it's
I think so.
They need to get out in second, you think, right?
Yeah, but it's going to be really hard to do that.
Yeah, it's a tougher group, I think.
I think NYYRIKKI has like a really good chance. I think ASUS, we're kind of like maybe counting out, but we'll get some in a little bit. And it looks like so there was no audio from us. When we start. So perfect timing, actually, just chime in with Group A. So go back to Group B. We're going to be kicking off Group B here for you. It's going to be Helsinki Reds up against NYYRIKKI as our first match here in this group. And then winners obviously move through to the winners match, where we do have still two other teams playing. And you guys might have heard of them. Giganti, you might not recognize them as that, but it's old NIP, old RIP now. Their new team is playing against ASUS.
That was like breaking news like last night.
Yeah.
When we arrived, they said, oh, yeah, did you hear the news about them? It's so good for them to get sponsored. Those guys deserve it. They've been around Overwatch for a very long time, a lot of hard workers. Roster has been rechanged a little bit. They've picked up some pieces here and there. Their DPS pieces are different. You'll recognize Linkser, but neither here nor there. I guess we're right into Hollywood, which is going to be our first map. In the red on the right side, that is the Helsinki Reds, fittingly enough. And on the left side, it is NYYRIKKI Esports. That is going to be playing defense overall.
All right, looks like they're going to be running a Soldier Tracer, so pretty much a double hit scan here. You know, the Diva and the Winston, so 2-2-2 for them. And for Helsinki Reds, going for pretty much the same thing, except they're using a different tank. They're using Kryma on Zarya. We've seen a lot of Zarya coming in because this is the latest patch. We are on live, which also means we could potentially see some Doomfist action like we did have in Group A if you guys missed out on that one. But so far, it looks like Group's able to take that initial kill over onto Perry. And Helsinki off to a decent start here, going for some equal trades. Oh, Crime almost has his Graviton Surges. 95% on attack. Like this is like Sinatra level Graviton Surge building.
This is great for the offense right now. Trades are always going to favor the offense, at least a little bit in Hollywood. It's not quite equidistant offense and defensive reinforcement, so they're going to get in here, and I don't think the defense should even try to get back in here. The Winston's posturing up like he wants to. Lucio actually is going to come in over the top. I do not like this, unless they can force out an ult, but no, some calm play there by the offense coming in. They are not burning anything onto this. In fact, Baba's going to burn his tactical visor. I didn't like any of that. Did you like any of that?
I didn't like any of that, no.
No.
I didn't like it.
Oh, no, no, sir, I did not like it.
Like, the visor kind of was a big waste. I'm not sure exactly what was going on with that one. It was kind of a really odd angle. It was a good angle to hit from. The problem was he wasn't able to get any kills. There's too many people for him to fight against. And now you have Helsinki Reds with 6 ultimates to use pushing into the Wild West phase.
I don't even necessarily hate trying to come in and stagger, but the manner in which they did it was so telegraphed and so easily cleaned up. The Lucio goes in over the top. Everyone's like, okay, I guess kill this Lucio for free. Then the Winston comes in, and I guess, and then they throw ults after it. Just ults that you would like to have right now. Speaking of which, Exceed is going to bust out his own tactical visor on his golden pulse rifle there. Doesn't find a whole lot right now. Transcendence comes off for the offense as they continue to try to push in. Right now, they do get the kills that they need. Pretty Wise back here looking to get as much damage as possible, and 3 quick kills for Helsinki Reds as they will continue to push through.
And we are aware there's actually no game sounds at the moment. Hopefully someone in production can hear us and maybe turn that up, because we're not getting really anything from this clean feed. We are just kind of chiming along with the with Tomba, who's the Finnish caster who's doing all the observing for himself. He's doing it for us as well, so can't complain too much as long as we have some video to watch. But Helsinki Reds aren't really losing pretty much anyone that last fight. Going to be looking to push the pit off even further, and they still have the Graviton Surge. They have the Pulse Bomb. They have the combo they need to shut this down. It comes down to Tonda if he's going to land the defense matrix onto it.
And there's nothing sadder than an eaten Graviton, so that is not going to be what they open up with. Still holding on to that is Crime. A Primal Rage comes out there. No, absolutely not. They've just been rolling through here, and a little bit of a juggle there onto Baba. We were just watching some fighting game. That's exactly what we saw right there, juggling him midair. And ever since the first point, it has been all Helsinki Reds. They are flying through Hollywood, Jason.
They are, and they're not looking to be stoppable at all. Considering Crimus has Graviton Surge since the first attack on the first point on point A, he's not had to use it at all. He's just saving it for his prime opportunity. And you guys might recognize quite a few of these players, like Twitty, for instance. He's from Spice. He's from Overwatch Kings, like an old team back in the day with like Adatonian, with Clown, with Meecher. Yeah, very old school player.
Been around for a while.
He just hasn't. He's kind of disappeared from the scene, but has come back now with NYYRIKKI here, NYYRIKKI Esports with this new pickup.
It happens a bit, and I believe ASTT Ost is a former TF2 player, former TF2 scout of great acclaim. So we'll be seeing him on the Tracer. Was my first instinct, trying to do some scouting on this team. A nice self-destruct over the top is going to take down 2 right off the bat. Those could be the stabilizing kills that they need, and they need to find something to stabilize, but to no avail as the offense continues to press the issue. Perry now all alone on the Lucio. He's got Sound Barrier, but should not be using it.
And considering they got, what, 2 kills with the self-destruct out of Tonder, and they weren't able to clean up any of the kills off, that worries me. Yeah. And that's 2 big frags, and you didn't lose anyone, and yet you're kind of still struggling to finish off to clean up.
Has Climber had to use this card at all?
He's been holding to, so with Mary, he's been holding to the post bomb.
I guess they're just looking for the big bang to close it out.
And Tonder switched off Diva, so they have nothing to stop this either.
Okay, well, the grab does come in over top. The Primal Rage and Transcend will get out of it, so they won't find any of the kills there, but they force out 2 ultimates for the 1. Sound Barrier also comes in as they try to double down, but even though they have Sound Barrier, Baba's going to fall quickly. Can Osk find anything? He's got to be chasing that purple balloon, but now he's out of there, and they still are getting all of the kills. It has been all Helsinki Reds right now as we continue to try to work out some of the technical issues we have. But technical aside, you can hear the crowd right now going nuts for Helsinki Reds as they fly through that map, a little shy of 3 minutes left.
Yeah, it's pretty much the biggest crowd I think we've had so far for them. I think a lot of fan favorites out there. I'm just gonna hand a note off. A lot of fan favorites actually going to be invested into them, looking to pick up these victories, and they finished with a hell of a lot of time too. Like it wasn't really the hardest thing ever. Yeah, we don't hear any game sounds at all.
Yeah. Would like some. I would like game sounds.
Yeah, I would like it too.
I think the sound design in Overwatch is amazing, actually.
I think so.
You hear like all the, whenever a new hero comes out,
I like hearing the clink, 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 and the pow, 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 and the boom.
I think you just wrote a new single. I mean, I think we've got the hook.
Well,
right
actually,
there.
so my DJ name would be DJ Jason, but it'd be like DJ JSON.
Yeah, would the S be a $?
I mean, of course.
Of
like,
course.
you somehow make the O like a Star of David. Somehow. I don't know. I mean, like the only rapper out there with a yarmulke. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but we will be loading into the next half of Hollywood. The map pool we do have, I believe Ilios will come up second.
Okay.
And then Watchpoint Gibraltar third. But keep in mind, this is a best of 3, no 4 maps, and all maps are available to be played.
Yeah.
So it's a pick ban phase, and whatever 3 maps left are what's going to be there.
Yeah, we're going to go through groups, and it's single limb, and tomorrow I think it's going to be...
It's double limb today.
Well, yeah, that's... You let me finish my thought. Come on.
Finish, please.
No, I don't want to.
Okay. So what he's saying is today it's a double elimination. Tomorrow we'll be going into our 2 semifinals and our grand final, which will be a best of 5.
Grand final is the only one best of 5. Those semis can be very volatile because it is best of 3. So a lot of it is going to be map choices. As you mentioned, we're going to finish up Hollywood here. Interestingly enough, Helsinki Reds, their map choice was Ilios. We heard a little inside information that they might not be very good on control. Maybe no one told them.
I think when we did our research, we were looking at they don't really play Diva too much.
Yeah.
And we saw Kryma playing Zarya, so not really see much Diva at all. We didn't see really even any Reinhardt, actually, which we saw quite a bit in our Group A matches of a lot of Reinhardt being played.
When we were watching Helsinki Reds at, I believe it was ELC not too long ago, just you and I got on a phone call and watched them, we mentioned that their Diva rotation is very similar to Rogue, where they have 3 DPS, and then whatever DPS they don't want to use, that'll be the person running the Diva.
It's kind of like musical chairs, I locked in DPS first.
Yeah, I got there first.
You're going to have to play him. All right, let's see. They are going to be running a Reinhardt on defense. We're going to be picking that up. And they are running pretty wise on Ana, too. And Baba has to be very careful. They're all set up on the high ground, but they're going to be pushed out immediately here. Baba going for the flank. And Tonder gets himself a double kill with his dash. There you go. NYYRIKKI Esports getting exactly what they needed here on this defense to put up a good hold. Or sorry, on attack, my bad. To get a good potential take here. And they're in a relatively standard comp, but they're running triple DPS this time. So Baba, ASTT, and Tonder all going to be playing DPS.
Yeah, it's been so much more Zarya lately, and it's really nice to see. And it's just largely because that it's the anti-dive ultimate now, and when your ultimate could not do what you wanted to against the heroes, then you're obviously not going to want to run her. So that is going to be more offense coming in, as it is just... Does anyone want to play defense today? I mean, I've asked this a couple different times on different maps, but it's not necessarily one team versus the other. It is just offense versus defense, and no one can find an answer to stop the opposing offensive force.
The thing about Zarya, though, you touched on, the Graviton Surge, you can't move out of it anymore.
Yeah.
It still doesn't ever change the fact that it's really hard to hit a multi-man Graviton Surge because of dive comps so mobile that ideally for them to ever be grouped up is only when they're collapsing on one of your supports. So maybe use it defensively as a Graviton Surge and finish off kills. But it definitely has been improved quite a bit, and even Reinhardt with the hammer speed was changed.
It's nice to adjust to a meta by not nerfing heroes, but making other heroes just a little bit better. And not even huge changes, but kind of quality of life changes there even a little bit. Right now, though, the offense still cannot be stopped. Dragon Blade is out, did take down Exceed, who is on the Soldier 76. Tonder running roughshod through this team right now as all the DPS get a bit of their own glory there. Split 5 ways as every single one of them got some kills, and now they're in a great position up top, over top, as it were. Baba's got a tactical visor ready too, and it's going to be hard for them to shut down because, Jason, do you see a Diva on the side of Helsinki?
I do not. I do not at all here. I mean, it's going to come to Rip to get in his face, and doesn't even have his Palmer Rage to really mitigate that either. Give me some Transcends, popped out. Not sure exactly why. Maybe a little bit preemptive here, but it's going to be responded with a Sound Bear as well. VBR going to be using that one, the Helsinki Res, to make sure they can force a fight off of this. And so far, it's just a kill trade apiece here. And that's going to be a Graviton Surge on the payload, picking up 2. And once we talked about Graviton Surge, it's been improved. It's still not the perfect ultimate just yet because of dive comps, but hey, when they have to push the payload together, you can catch quite a few.
Well, I think it's nice to be able to fit Zarya into defensive dive anyway, because if your Zenyatta is there and he's getting jumped on, you're going to take the charge for free and hopefully buy time to have your team help out and peel. It's not just the Lucio now trying to keep your Zenyatta alive, and really playing a Zenyatta in dive comp is just a masochistic thing to do. You must really like the pain.
That's really true. It's really frustrating. But if you have a Diva on your team, though,
yeah,
it can be kind of nice. You get some sort of protection. But Helsinki Red's going to be pushing up a little bit just to get some sort of control around the map. Don't want to sit directly on that payload necessarily. And Kryma only 20% on his Graviton Surge, having a relatively slow game. But Exceed opens things up, getting the kill to Baba. And Exceed will eventually fall for him playing on the high ground. and Tonder falls thereafter. So pretty much favoring Helsinki Red's side,
yeah.
But it's going to force a Transcendence out of them to keep everyone healthy.
Well, let's take a moment and notice that this last minute or so out of Helsinki Reds is the most defense we've seen played in this map so far, because on their offense, it was nonstop. They just, the cart never stopped, didn't even really slow down. The next push for NYYRIKKI should be pretty decent, though, as they're going to actually start off with some ults. I don't love this timing, but a nice Transcend is going to save Baba there to get a little bit of value out of that. I say this fight should be theirs because they have all the ult advantage. That's a nice dash from Tonder. And now it's time to maybe try to get greedy and try to hold on to the blade. They decide against it, and they will bust out a Sound Barrier and a Dragon Blade all in on this one.
They already had like 3 or 4 kills, and then they commit those ultimates as well, which you could use transition. Look at Kryma. I mean, on attack, he sat on his Graviton Surge until the final point, until like the final push to actually win them the game. Then again, one push technically is what won them the game, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And yet they invest everything into that. I guess, you know, in the long run, it's not that bad. At high levels, it would be terrible to invest 7 ultimates, but like to want to like just commit to get that point right, because getting stopped right there at the door is so frustrating and really hard to take.
The walk back is so long, especially on Hollywood second. So I can understand wanting to get those fresh respawns to move your spawn points up forward and get in there. Still, though, Helsinki has mounted a defense right outside the door, not necessarily the most typical place you see teams hold here. They will have Graviton ready and a Sound Barrier of their own. They're going to make them fight for every inch. You see Winston is ready to get all the cleave in, just kind of pushes them back. And now NYYRIKKI being a little bit tentative here because they have to, and at this pace, they're definitely going to have a slower time.
Graviton, yeah. I mean, they're all bunched up in the same doorway. They're going to get the kill onto him, but it doesn't matter. He's just going to be free to pick up these kills and shut them down. They're going to finish off the last few remaining members of NYYRIKKI.
Whole team down.
There you go. Helsinki Reds do hold on strong. So they've already beaten their time. At least on defense side, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left for NYYRIKKI to finish the map. And then we potentially, or then we would be going into 3 minutes of Helsinki Reds having the chance to cap the first third.
This is just so brutal on both sides. They're just running triple DPS. No one's even halfway interested in running a D.Va right now. I guess people are just tired to see a D.Va. But that's one of the reasons that grab is so sick, because you just put it wherever you want. There's no fear. There's no fear of where the grab is going to get eaten or anything.
Could be reflective, but that's very, very difficult to do. And Tonder's been not really kind of staying with the team. He's looking for these picks. Krema does get Tonder now down, and XC's going to be using his own visors. Just these ultimates being committed off the back of each other, just so awkward. They're not really being used in tandem in a smart way. They're just kind of being thrown out like, okay, I have an opportunity to use it here. I'm just going to pull this one out and see if I can somehow carry the team myself. That's what it feels like for NYYRIKKI. It's just like everyone trying to carry the team for themselves when you really need to work together to beat someone like Helsinki Reds.
Yeah, and Helsinki Reds, we mentioned that they are a team that's been together for a long time. You're not just going to be able to out-frag them and hope that it works. They play too well together. You have to have some sort of strategy, some sort of plan. Now, there's some individual play that might start bringing it back for him. That is the former TF2 player, TF2 Scout Osk, as he gets in a couple of kills early on, and they need to be able to convert this. Still, though, just a little over a minute for NYYRIKKI to be able to close out this map, which equates to probably 2 decent pushes here. Maybe the Sound Barrier can equate, or maybe they can ride off this Pulse Bomb, but
it's going to be hard, I think, to finish off. Double Sound Barrier is going to come in from both teams. We have Pulse Bombs available for both as well, but we'll see where they're going to be landing for either of these teams. We do have the Graviton Surge up for Kryma in just a few seconds' time. He should be able to stay alive for the most part. A lot of healing's been focused onto him to make sure he can stay alive, make sure he can maintain his high energy. Woomera, though, is going to be the first to fall, who did have the Pulse but didn't use it. And finally, NYYRIKKI is able to get some sort of momentum. You're picking up these 3s, looking for the 4th. He's just trying to stall as long as they possibly can. Throw it into overtime, because even overtime would be enough for Helsinki Reds, because then they have still 3 minutes to get that first third. NYYRIKKI need to finish with time on the board.
Yeah, so 30 seconds left. Last fight is going to be incoming. If Helsinki can get out here, Hels has to get out here. They have all the ults they need. There's another grab out here. I think that's what Woomera is waiting for, is if a grab can get out here and maybe he can get a big bang combination. Dueling Transcendence is dueling Zunyatas on the point. The grab is there. Where's the follow-up? There it is! 4 kills on the Pulse Bomb. And stoic faces. Did they see it? Did they even know what happened?
I don't think the game's actually even over right now, but I think with that Pulse Bomb alone, it should be over.
Might as well be.
I'm going to actually look at my own thing just to make sure. Yeah, still 3 seconds left. We do see Doomfist. We should probably head back in the game. There we go.
There it is.
That's production saying, yeah, the game's over. There's no way, boys. Just go home now. There's no way for coming back from a 5-man Pulse Bomb. But it's going to be over. Helsinki Reds will eventually finish this one off. And NYYRIKKI not going to get the completion.
But it's nice patience there by Woomera, who we saw dancing around just staying on the cart, because they were all clumped up on the cart. You can go for that Pulse Bomb, but it's communication that his team says, we have the grab as well, let's get in there. And then they waited out the Transcend, the Dueling Transcends, the 4K Pulse Bomb, and just another day at the office for Helsinki Reds.
I don't know if that's a finish thing. where they just showed no emotion. You just got a 5-man pulse bomb to like win the map for your team. And he's just like, actually, that is a Finnish thing. Because I know Alo is Counter-Strike player. He shows nothing on his face ever. He's just like.
It's kind of a regional thing. You know, like when the sun sets at 4 p.m., what do you have to react to?
No, I thought you were the other route with that because we're sitting here like waking up and I'm like, oh man, I think I had a good night's rest, you know.
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
sun's out, nice day. Look at my phone. It's 3:52 a.m.
3:52 in the morning. Yeah, because I was jet lagged. I went to bed and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get like a solid 8. Really looking forward to it. And I wake up and I'm like, oh man, did I sleep through my alarm? Is it like 10 a.m.? Did I miss breakfast at the breakfast buffet? 4:02 a.m. Is it midday? I don't understand
Everyone's early risers here.
I guess, man. Early risers and stoic expressions. But that is the first map going over to Helsinki Reds in pretty good fashion. There were some things that went well for NYYRIKKI, but not enough. I think Helsinki...
They had a strong start, though.
Yeah, Helsinki...
Very strong start.
That's true. Their offense just looked great. NYYRIKKI came alive there towards the end. It was actually the best they'd looked, starting to get a couple kills.
I thought it was the beginning they actually were the best.
Oh, yeah?
Because they took first attack,
easily,
and then they got to, like, almost the end of second phase on the second attack. Then they had to go back one more time. Then there's like a big overcommit of ultimates that we kind of question. And then they got staggered like really slowly towards the end.
Our next map is going to be Ilios. Okay. And this is actually Helsinki Red's pick. So this could be a quick set if they follow through on winning their own map. But
hey, that does mean actually we did get to talk with production and everything. We're going to be, if you join us for Group A, you saw that we didn't get to show the winners match.
Yes.
With Gamers Origin versus ENCE, but we are going to be fitting in the winners match for this game. So we're going to have 4 matches in this group.
Yes.
So it'll be this one. We'll be going to winners after this, then losers, then decider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you get to see ex-NIP, ex-RIP Team Gigante today.
Gigante.
It just sounds Italian to me.
It sounds Spanish to me. Like, you ever watch, like, Telemundo? I think there's a show called,
I live in Germany, bro. Do you think I get Telemundo there?
Probably. Telemundo is global, man.
It's Spanish. It's not.
Well, I know it's Spanish, but they play it in a lot of countries. There's Spanish people everywhere. Spanish-speaking people.
Telemundo's from Mexico.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
American ignorance. I love it. I love it. Because I have that as well.
There's a show called, like, Television Gigante or something on Telemundo.
That sounds like something. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Anyway.
Lighthouse.
Here we are on Ilios, on White House. Already a kill goes down as Exceed able to take down his opposing number. And Baba back and forth right now as they do brawl out, looking for first control here. Do you see anything unique or out of the ordinary in these compositions, Jason?
No. Not at all.
Dynamite drop in.
We've been seeing the triple DPS on NYYRIKKI. And then you have 2-2-2 out of Helsinki, except you're running a Zarya, which is a little bit questionable to run that into a triple DPS because Zarya's strength is when she survives for a long period of time.
Right.
When she's able to ramp up the energy over time and just not die to lose that 100 charge. So, I mean, it's like, the thing is, I say that, right? But Crime has been playing well, so it's not like you can really say anything negative about that. But it is questionable, like maybe at the higher levels, like the higher pinnacles of Overwatch in general, that you wouldn't want to run a Zarya here. At least pair it with a Reinhardt to give you some sort of cover.
Yeah, and I think Klima is probably the most recent addition to this team, and he is actually gelling very well with them right now. For NYYRIKKI to bring this back, they're going to have to get better than one-to-one trades, which is what you see happening right now. It's essentially a 4v4 going on, but they need an overwhelming amount of force there. Rumera smart to back out. I thought he was actually going to check the pulse bomb there. Brady will get on the point. They start to put a little bit of pressure here, but that is going to be Rumera going down, gets chunked, and it is then Tapomasa, the one coming alive here, gets a couple of kills of his own, and finally they're able to flip it back over.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, Helsinki did pick up 51% in the midst of all that. So it's not like they ran at the end just to make sure to contest as long as they could. Rumera, they did go for the cheeky pulse bomb to maybe pick up a kill or two to turn it around. But I think you can agree we can invest. You can invest something like that into it. So
absolutely. So right now, it is going to be some pressure put on the point by Helsinki as they're just going right on their tactical visor comes off camera. Yeah, and he's going to go to his grave with it and save it for the next fight. You're going to try to bring this back with a Dragon Blade, but he only gets a Tracer, but that is not going to be enough. Helsinki is getting all of this fight in their favor. So maybe some stall out comes in, but that is going to be just about it. Helsinki will flip it back over with NYYRIKKI getting themselves nearly 40%. Helsinki, well, okay, so the other side of things for NYYRIKKI is he did die with Trance, and as the eternal optimist you know that I am.
What hex am I talking to right now?
I would say that that's good for the next fight. They're going to have the Transcendence if they want to come in. They're going to have both support ults, so they should be able to win it. On the other side of things, they're going to have a Transcend too, which might need to be popped now after this barrier goes down, but not finding the right angle here. Exceed will go down.
I mean, pretty-wise, he doesn't even have his trance just yet, so I was actually kind of surprised to see NYYRIKKI invest that sound barrier into it, and Topos invest in his Transcendence. You had double support ultimate when they had no offensive ultimates. You had attack fires. Like, you should be able to take that fight with maybe just using a sound barrier, not using Transcendence. And now they don't have that anymore.
Right.
Krima has Graviton Surge, and you have nothing to counter that ultimate. And all they need is one more fight to win.
Yeah, the economy on the side leaves a little bit to be desired. Helsinki is going to be in position to win this with the Graviton Pulse Bomb yet again. I think we just saw Graviton Pulse Bomb win them the end of the map or close it out with great excitement. So we'll see if Krima has the angle here that he's looking for.
Oh.
Yeah, that Pulse Bomb was from the other Tracer. They still have the Big Bang Theory available to them. Does Helsinki. Krima hits the grab. 2 already down. Pulse Bomb not even needed as follow-up. They finished the 2 who are already sitting in the grab. So now they're going to have to come at this 4v6.
Oh, they're all grouped up too. Oh, my lord. Okay, that's not going to hit anyone. I'm just like, imagine, you know, when you see something happen in slow motion, like what could have happened? It didn't work out, but it just forced them back. 97%, they're going to have to jump into this point. They have no ultimates to use here. Maybe can get one in the fight. It's going to be Bob or Twitty, but it's not going to be good. And Tonda goes down with 91% on his ultimate.
Yeah, they're going to have to jump into Transcend. It was always going to be difficult. The tactical visor comes out trying to put the nail into this first stage of Ilios. They do get a couple of kills late here. It's Twitty and Perry combining to keep this alive for their team, and that's going to be a hard group to get off of the point. 99% in favor, and I think NYYRIKKI has actually brought this back off of the back of Twitty's nice primal rate.
Yeah, found a lot of time there. They're turn the point around with 72% now built up for them. They could potentially hold this point. I believe actually we do see Giganti, by the way. I think they won their first game already because they're already up and walking around.
Yes.
So I think they beat Aces pretty quickly.
Okay. It would be surprising if it was the other way around, so we'll make the assumption.
It's XNIP. Anything can happen with them, to be honest.
That's very true. They could have got O2'd. Yeah, they
Anyways,
can do it. I don't care.
Yeah, so final attack here for Helsinki Reds to take the point back after Transcendence. A Blade going to come out of Tonda. I don't know exactly where he is. Looking at 1v1 against the C, which he does get. And actually, we could see how them pull this one off here. They've got quite a few kills. The Dragon Blade Secrets are free. And Helsinki Reds, are they going to lose out this first map?
They are. Well, there goes the first stage in favor of NYYRIKKI right there.
Yep.
And oddly enough,
checking.
like I said, it was Ilios, which was Helsinki Reds' choice. And they look decent overall on it, but
I think they got cocky.
I think so too. The prevailing thought for some of the Finnish people who are more involved in the Finnish scene was that Helsinki Reds is not as good on control, that they rely more on their teamwork than they do just their individual skill. Now, the things I've seen from them don't necessarily make that true. Their individual skill has been great. Yeah, take a look at that one.
So they banned
I think
2 assaults.
Yes.
2 controls. And 2 payloads, 2 hybrids.
So they were fine going to control.
I mean, do they want to ban out all the controls or all the or all the assaults? Like,
well, I suppose maybe they're just not happy going with assaults. So it's difficult when you have every map in the pool and you have to figure out what you really don't want to play.
Yeah.
But they did choose Ilios here, and I think it's always difficult to go against a team you don't know much about on control, because control can be that volatile thing where as long as one person has a good DPS ult, you're in trouble. And you saw it there late, the Genji closing out the map for him with a triple Dragon Blade kill. We are back in it here onto the Sparta Pits. I believe this one's called Well on Ilios. See if anyone goes down to the bottom. The Krima gets the very first kill on a Tracer of all things. Not exactly how you want to start it out, but Krima's Ghostbuster Beam is going to town. Already 52% on his ultimate. He gets 2 quick kills.
Yeah, he's got to be high charge here. And as a Tracer, you kind of underestimate the damage Zarya can do with the right click. At the left click into a right click, completely catch you off guard.
Yeah.
And Ast, unfortunately, going to be forced back to spawn here. But he already has 40% of his ultimate built up. Bob had about 50%. But Woomera is like, Woomera and Krima are like almost in sync with ultimates. That's like pretty scary. A Tracer, you expect to have like 2 pulse spawns before your Zarya has 1 Graviton Surge, and Krima almost has his first.
Well, Perry comes in, is able to take down his opposite number in BBR, so that Lucio out of the mix is both the Winston. Is everyone just going after their counterpart right now? It does appear so. Exceed is going to hit a beautiful
Thinking of Anchorman right now. Somebody hit somebody! That's semi-pro. Close enough. Still same thing, you get it.
Yeah. Semi-Pro is tragically underrated. I just watched that the other night. Yeah, I was a big fan. Big fan of Jackie Moon right there.
What's his name? Andre 3000, right?
Yeah, Andre 3000.
Yeah.
is it Coffee Hot? He goes by at one point. He changes
Black?
Yeah,
Coffee Black.
Yeah, he changes his name every game, which is part of the running gag. Very good. Well, that is still Helsinki Reds in control here as they tick to 60%. Going to be very difficult for NYYRIKKI to bring it back here. One of the hardest points before Oasis came out, I consider this the hardest point to bring back. A huge Graviton. Who's going to have the follow-up there? It's going to be the Pulse Bomb again with a double kill. Big Bang Theory is back and starting it off right now. It's going to be difficult for them to get back into it as we near 80%.
I know you guys don't hear it, but I swear there's a laugh track somewhere because Big Bang Theory is back, which is like 80% laugh track.
That guy said the thing.
I don't hear the clapping.
Come on, Sheldon. What do they say? Bazinga? Something like that?
I don't know. I've stopped watching the show a long time ago.
I've never seen
They
the
get paid
show.
$1 million an episode, though, each of them.
Yeah.
We're in the wrong business. Xida has to have his visor, which he's going to be using. Tonder, though, with the Blake is boot back. So that's a perfect way to play against the Genji if you're Lucio. You wait for him to use his dash, and then you boop him back to create distance so he can't get resets against you. You don't want to use it too early. But Twitty's already able to pick up initial kill, looking for a knockoff into the wall. Unfortunately, not able to do it. But it looks like that might be enough here for Helsinki to get the first point on the board.
Well, it's how they brought it back last time for NYYRIKKI was that Twitty went in, got a couple of kills, and then the Dragon Blade came out. So not quite over yet as they try to get back in here. Sound Barrier is going to come out for the side of Helsinki, though, to make it that much more difficult to get the kills they need to pull it back. Not giving up just yet. Almost into the hole. Now out of the hole, but pretty wise. Cleaning up very easily. I do believe this will be the stage going towards Helsinki Reds. It is. We are tied up here on Ilios with Helsinki Reds leading the series 1-0.
Yeah. Looking very intently on the screen there.
Yeah. Serious.
I'm just trying to think about how that kind of went, you know. Crime got like one Graviton Surge.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing about Zarya, right, is like, it's really hard to build up Graviton Surges quickly. You have to invest a lot into your Zarya. So, like, you obviously have to heal quite a bit. Like, for instance, if you want to run like an Ana and keep Zarya alive, you have to like put a lot of focus on that target and that target only, which makes it really hard to play Genji or Tracers. But if your Genji or Tracers are good enough, they can play just around the health pack for the most part.
Right.
So you invest all the healing onto your Zarya, you keep high energy, you don't die most importantly, and then you build the Gravitons really, really quickly, which he did really fast, like 70% after the first fight.
What do you think of the theory of maybe running your Zen a little more aggressive and running your Zarya a little more defensive so they stay kind of within each other so they can protect each other? That way Zarya's getting energy built up because people are diving the Zen, and then you also chase the Discords.
I don't think Zarya's enough to stop someone from killing Zen, though.
Yeah, probably not.
Like, at D.Va, at least you fully mitigate the damage. Zarya, you give a shield for a couple seconds. And then that's just going to disappear if they want to eat through it. It's really risky. I mean, it can definitely be possible, but...
Well, we got a Widow on the field, and that is the important thing to watch right now. This is the best stage in all of Control, in my opinion, to be able to run a Widow. You see it a lot on Ruins, and it is going to be Exceed who runs that Widow right now. He is their hit scan player for the most part, generally on 76, but going to swap over to that Widow. But they said not really enough work done to justify it so far, and they're going to give up the point pretty easily to NYYRIKKI.
Well, NYYRIKKI did switch quite a few things. If you look at their lineup at the moment, Bob is the one who's playing Soldier normally, switching to Genji, and Tonder, who was playing Genji before, switched over to the D.Va. So they recognize the necessity to have a D.Va.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, Exceed playing this into it is very difficult. You're running against a Winston, a D.Va, and a Genji who can all dive you. Technically, even Tracer can dive you if you just get in the right positions to use the blinks, but that's going to be really hard. And we're going to see if he's going to be able to pull much off of it. He does have his info side up to get the vision, but he's already being pressured back.
Well, there's a Pulse Bomb that comes in right away from ASUS, takes down 2 as the Winston tried to get out there, had to leap out, left right into Lucio, and that is a fight-winning Pulse Bomb if I've ever seen one. 3 kills, able to clean up the Zenyatta as well, and ASUS coming alive for this NYYRIKKI team.
So I would switch the Widow here. He hasn't really been too effective. Maybe like a Pharaoh, like wouldn't be terrible. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world against this composition. Or just maybe just go back to Soldier. Or maybe actually run the D.Va to help mitigate the damage from ASUS to keep your supports alive. Saber going to be used on a parry. And parry's going to get the kill onto his counterpart, a BBR. And that's going to transcend in response. So we're not seeing the push out of Helsinki trying to actually get towards back towards the point here. And that 1 HP Genji solo, Pretty's going to take him down. But they're going to lose their own Genji for the mids.
Well, straight up Exceed's not hitting shots. Beyond the counterplay that they have set up compositionally, Exceed has never been putting him... So Exceed gets a machine gun kill. Not quite what you want out of your Widow. And the thing about Widow is if she's not dominating or at least getting 1-for-1s, 2-for-1s, she's not going to be a body and a presence on the point to move people out, and they're not even really playing outside of sight lines. He's not put the fear of God in them that they need.
One thing is on Ruins as well, is that if you don't take the point first and then have your team like push up a little bit to create distance for you, you can never really get set up at a good angle to pick up kills. So his team hasn't been able to give him like the opportunity to be really effective, which still he should know to switch off. That's me trying to pick up the kill on a BBR though, and Exceed. I still don't think I've seen him on the kill feed except that one SMG kill.
Yeah, I thought he was going to switch after his first life, to be honest, because the first life looked rough and then they lost control, but they are not out of this one just yet. Umera comes in. Now Exceed comes alive in an odd number situation, able to take down a second kill with the sniper rifle, and first control now finally given to Helsinki Reds, but 99
See, this is fine now.
NYYRIKKI.
Yeah, like this is good, because look, he's pushed up, he can back away in time to create distance for the rest of the team. He's applying the pressure, holding them back. We can see him on the stage there from a different angle doing something else, doing his own other things. Yeah, I'm just going to be watching on my screen, see what he's going to be doing. Yeah, he's actually falling back here onto the point. We'll get back in the game in momentarily. There it is.
There it is.
And we'll see what he's going to be able to do here with support of his team this time. The Transcends, it won't stop you from a headshot at a Widow. And it won't stop this Genji from getting extremely low on HP, but Exceed takes down Ost right off the bat.
Oh, wow. That was so patient on their own Transcend to be able to hold that and keep Genji alive towards the end. Exceed able to get the kills that he needs, and now they have to start playing out of sight lines. You know, I kind of give him a pass, actually, in the first couple of minutes of Widow, because it is a hero that you have to get warmed up on. There is...
I mean, I know what you're saying, but, like... I've seen Zebasai do that before. Like,
I know.
A couple of times, like on Watchpunch or Brawl Team, we like, yeah, he's like the worst Widow ever. And then we go into Temple of Anubis and he just like gets a 4K on first attack.
Yeah, it is that feast or famine hero, and we say that a lot, but it applies to Widow no more than any other hero at all. Soundbear is going to come in for NYYRIKKI, trying to just get back towards the point, 60% and counting for Helsinki Reds. A deflect, but it does not finish the kill. Baba uses most of his ult, trying to deal with it and take it out. Dragon Blade on the other side is able to get some work done as Exceed continues to clean up. Both Genjis out of this fight right now.
Oh, he's actually been shot back at too. You can see him actually very low on health, about half HP, being knocked back by the Primaries. Twitty doesn't want to let him go. It looks like he will escape because Twitty has to get back towards his team, and the point's going to be captured back over. It looks like Helsinki have given this one up. The thing is, they still have 6 people left alive. They have the opportunity to get back onto the point here. Winston's going to leap in.
That was close.
Just in the nick of time, does touch this one, and they're swarming the side here. This is going to be very difficult because Tonder doesn't even have his mech yet.
Well, Kryma's back into this, and Kryma brings it back for the Helsinki Reds. Gets 2 quick kills. There comes the sound barrier and the support ult's Transcendence. They double up and overlap. Generally, you do not want to see that, but you're right. They absolutely had to use that. Now, this next fight will determine who wins this stage. Helsinki Reds and NYYRIKKI both tied up at 1 stage apiece here on Ilios. And it's going to be a critical fight here. What do you see going into it? And you start it with self-destruct, or you just stay in your mech and maybe just drop it on the point?
I think you maybe want to stay with it.
Well, he's going to self-destruct over the top.
Drop it on, but there's like a... there's a shield there, but I think it just faded in the nick of time for him to pick up that kill. And the thing is, Exceed's still not being pressured. The thing is, Exceed's not really applying any pressure himself. He's not getting any kills. He's not forcing anyone back. Everyone's, for the most part, able to stay alive. And this Transcendence is going to be coming up big for his team as well. Make sure they don't get picked off one by one.
Yeah, nice Transcend there from top of Masa. Able to bully away that Tracer, but again, here's the problem, is you don't have the body on the point of the Widow that you would really like. They do get a couple kills. Both Genjis are dashing through people trying to reset here. Primal Rage comes out. That's really nice for the side of Helsinki Reds. Will buy them some time, but they need to stay on this point at all times. Where is Exceed cleaning up these kills? Not there, and NYYRIKKI will take a 2-1 map or stage advantage on the map of Ilios here. Helsinki Reds is up in the set 1-0, but after this one, our third map would be Watchpoint Gibraltar. We haven't seen yet today.
No, we haven't. We've seen a lot of Hollywood, a lot of Route 66.
Yeah, a lot of 66.
A lot of control so far today.
66, Nepal, Lijiang. That's pretty much all we've seen.
Hollywood.
And Hollywood. A little bit of Hollywood.
And
touch bit of Hollywood.
Nambani once. Yep, Nambani.
Oh, yeah, that was the first map of the day.
Sorry, I want to go back to the Widow conversation, actually. Because it reminds me of something that, like, we used to see quite a bit, I used to do quite a bit. Pharah Genji. So you have Pharah hit a direct rocket, you call it out, Genji dives, kills, right?
Yep.
You can do the same thing with Widow. You hit a body shot of someone, yeah, it's not going to kill them, but you have that potential to clean them up really quick, especially if you're running the Tracer and the Genji to follow up with.
Right.
So you clean that kill up, and then you transition into more and more and more. But it's just about creating that space for your Widowmaker to play with.
Yeah, I would agree with that, although I do like Pharah Genji. I think it's an underrated combo.
Love the combo.
If you have any sort of communication, you can really crush it with it. We are now back onto well. No one fell into it last time, so I was a little disappointed. I don't care who falls in. I don't care color-wise, but someone's got to go in as well at some point in time. First capture looks like it's going to the side of NYYRIKKI, and so close. That is not quite over just yet. I don't like giving up this first point for free because it's one of the more difficult points to take back. They need to keep a body on here. They're doing just that, and now they bring it back into their favor. Some nice patience there from Helsinki. As the DPS come alive, they get killed too. But look at that, another huge pulse bomb. Ost has gone off. He has 4 kills all by himself, and they will take this point because of it.
More importantly, he killed Kryma, because Kryma had like 80 energy there. I think he was probably at 100 towards the end. He gets the kill. Onto that, shuts down the ult generation that he can provide himself with the battery of the energy he's been able to secure, and prevents the Graviton Surge a little bit longer. So now you might see WYMERA use his Pulse Bomb, by himself, not comboed it with the Graviton, which makes it a lot easier for you to survive these fights. Also, not to mention, Tandra's still playing on the D.Va too, so we're going to see a lot harder for Kryma and WYMERA to really make these kills happen. But as we talked about like yesterday, when we were in the hotel, it's really difficult for a D.Va to really deal with the Zarya, who's just going to be feeding off of you the entire time.
Yeah, D.Va is the natural counter to Zarya. You just haven't seen her too much in the meta lately trying to deal with it. Back and forth go these DPSs. They duel. They each get a couple of kills here, but not enough for Helsinki to bring it back. And in fact, it is Twilly gets a couple of kills before he eats a Pulse Bomb, but he'll happily take that Pulse Bomb to his grave, as they only get a couple of kills late for the side of Helsinki Reds. There's enough people back here to at least stall out, and it's just asking too much for WYMERA to be able to bring this point back alone.
This is something that we've noticed about Helsinki Reds seen them before. They don't play D.Va on King of the Hill on Control, and we really wonder why, because D.Va is so strong on this map with protecting your own teammates, with diving in towards the backline with the high ground control. But it doesn't really matter too much here, as Helsinki Reds have quite a few ultimates to use, but not really using or committing any of them to this fight, because they want to be able to extend this first point capture, or the point capture for themselves, to about 50, well, ideally to 100%.
Right, they will finally bring it back. NYYRIKKI has been running just without that, or just with Winston and D.Va, and as you mentioned, Helsinki Reds, no D.Va. Kryma's definitely favoring running the Zarya instead, maybe just a comfort pick flavor there. But speaking of that Zarya, Graviton will be ready. The follow through is not necessarily there, but I don't think you always have to use an ult to follow through. A good grab can be. I almost wanted to say right before that, do you want to take a bet if this Graviton's eaten or not? And Tandra eats it. He shuts down the combo that Helsinki Reds were looking for, and now they most certainly should be losing the fight here. Sombra going to be invested into because they realize we need to hold this one. We need to stop this momentum building up. ASUS able to get a kill as well as WYMERA, both with these pulse bombs. And Twitty getting a little bit too aggressive there. Does get Discord up and finished off by Prettywise, but they're holding the point. 50% just on the cusp of being built up here. But Reds, they're losing out on too many people. They're running out of men on the point, and eventually it will be turned over. Yeah, it seems like NYYRIKKI did learn something from that Hollywood map where they refused to run a D.Va most of the time and got themselves caught up in grab after grab. It's got to be a good feeling now to get the redemption eaten Graviton right there for Tonder. And that's a play that'll make you enjoy playing D.Va a little bit more, to be able to shut down such an impactful ultimate. Now Helsinki Reds has to win this fight, but the Transcend, they're getting aggro on him. This fight's not even going to start. They took out both supports, Jason. I like that. I like that. Just get really aggressive. They don't expect it because you're into the last fight of the map anyways here. And Bob almost falls down the well here. Style points. Does get back up, does live to fight another day, but it just seems like Helsinki are running out of too many men here. Pretty much we switch over to Sombra just to get test the point here, trying to buy some time. They get the D-Stone on Tonder. It's actually very possible. They can pull us from back here. He gets the D-Stone right, picks up 2 kills himself, and the rest of the Helsinki Reds are coming back into this point. Rip's finally going to fall, but he dies a hero for his team, contest this point as long as he possibly could, and allowing him to pick up these kills. Prettywise still alive here, going to town on this Sombra, is able to take down the opposing Winston. They're going to need a lot of kills at once, though. It's a large area of point to evict an enemy team out of. Tonder pushing back just a little bit. Can WYMERA hit a pulse bomb for his team to try to bring this back? Surprised he didn't dive the Zenyatta there. It looked like it was a decent spot for Medusa. Zen wasn't paying attention. Genji's getting very low for NYYRIKKI, trying to get back in here. And so while NYYRIKKI is stalling this out, they aren't getting any kills, and eventually you'd think it switches over to Helsinki. It should ideally, but the thing is that ASUS is still going off here, picks up a kill on a Prettywise and a Rue. That post bomb out of WYMERA, he's been sitting on this for so long. Maybe it's because Kryma has his Graviton off, just ready to be used here, but he's on so low HP, he's really scared to use this one. He's really scared to find a good opportunity to use it. The shield going to be regenning back in, and you need to throw it out now, man. You need to stop yourself from losing this fight. Oh, did not time that pulse bomb perfectly as he was trying to get in there, and all he does end up doing is feeding Kryma a ton of energy. There is a window on a shield where if you hit the shield, it will go away and then the pulse bomb detonates. It's really hard to hit. He was going for that right there. What he ended up doing is giving Kryma all of the energy he needed with that pulse bomb from AS. And while as good as AS has been playing, you have to wonder about the logic of sticking a Zarya there.
They have no counter for the blade out of Baba, though. All they're going to have is a speed boost and a sound bear, and that's not necessarily going to be enough here. Baba not going to be using it just yet. Finally going to be coming through. Self-destruct as well, so it's actually spread out the entirety of Helsinki Reds, and BBR is going to be the one to go down. He's the one who just used a sound bear, but I think he only caught onto Wumera here, and Rib's able to turn one kill back around Tonder, chasing away onto Exceed, trying to prevent him from really doing any damage he needs to, and Ost again picking himself up a double kill, looking for a third, and NYYRIKKI, I think they might going to pull this one back.
Ost has had himself a really nice game, very dominant on the Tracer so far, and it's not just been pulse bombs, it's just been his entire gameplay. Another pulse bomb will hit, takes out Exceed there on the ground, and Dasher from Baba will get the cleanup kills. And it looks like NYYRIKKI will be taking this point at some point. It's very hard to call. Ilios, they will flip it back over. Now desperation for Helsinki, but only 2 alive to do so. NYYRIKKI takes Ilios, and we're going to a game number 3.
Okay, here's some chance in there too.
Yeah, this crowd is loving this. They're loving these teams.
I honestly did not expect that to go to a third map between them after Helsinki Reds really kind of controlled them on Hollywood after the first couple of mess-ups or whatnot. But really well done by them. Yeah. NYYRIKKI just to really fight their way back. Ost, as you said, kind of the man to watch on the Tracer. Time and time again, picking up double kills with this pulse bomb. Not even needing pulse bombs to pick up kills. It's kind of hard to deal with that if you have a Tracer who's really on point.
Yeah, he crushed it. I was reading the bios of this team because they obviously don't have a lot of tape on them. And it just said former scout player, and so immediately I just wrote down in our notes, I'm like, Tracer, question mark? Because a lot of scouts find the transition really easy from scout to Tracer. They're faster than everyone, low HP and high mobility. That's what, of course, Clockwork came from. I've been playing good Tracer, and it looks like it translated there. He hit himself a game and a half, and when they absolutely needed it, he was able to hit those giant 2 and 3
kills. They're warming
kills.
up a little bit, maybe.
A little bit, and I think maybe feeding off this crowd. And at first it seemed like the crowd was going all Helsinki Reds, but they've definitely got some fans out there, NYYRIKKI. So this has been a fun match to watch. Not over yet, though, as we have to go to Watch Point Gibraltar. Think we'll see some Widow again? I mean, Exceed he can't be thrilled with that Widow life. It wasn't great.
It wasn't really, it wasn't really amazing. And we didn't really, see, the thing is, like, it's hard to judge how Widow played from, like, a kill feed alone. Like, obviously, we only got, like, 1 kill, but that could have been, like, such a crucial kill.
No, but we saw some of the POV. And there were shots that he needed to be hitting that he wasn't even body shotting hitting. You know, he's just straight up missing.
I mean, there's always possibility, right?
Right. Maybe you get warmed up.
Yeah. I think there's very likely we're going to see Ana. Definitely on defensive side because you can just sit so far back. You have infinite range on healing technically. There has to be a cutoff somewhere within the actual code of the game, but like you're the only healer who can heal that large of a distance and stay safe. So probably some Soldier Ana combo. We've seen Sombra before.
The Sombra defense is really cool. It's really dangerous to do. You have to run a bunch of tanks with it. But you know what makes it work? And maybe
we saw contenders, right? I can't remember who it was.
I want to say Yikes.
Yeah, XQC in them.
Yeah, it feels like it was Yikes on defense. One of the things that enables that is a Zarya down there, because you need to run a lot of tanks. And you have to have the sustain to all be eating the pack for car wash. And that's where the Sombra is going to be set up on defense. So perhaps... Although I have the feeling that we're going to see a very standard defense about setup on the back ledge, and that does look like what we're seeing now out of the Helsinki Reds. On this defense, holding all the way back, then you just hold up there, you try to catch any sort of dive that comes in. And to make this dive work, I think essentially you want to go, see where Winston is now? You want to go through below him. And that's your best angle at dive if you want to really go up top.
Yeah, so, I mean, you have to dislodge pretty wise on the Ana and Exceed on the Soldier.
Yes.
Like, that's the route you kind of need to go to not take too much chip, which you already do see.
Well, see, that's the rotation. There. Yes, where Tonder's going to rotate through there, but he can't go alone. Someone has to go with him. Yeah, Genji is with him. They're going to try to dislodge it. Huge dive comes in. Who gets the better of this one?
Well, they're body blocking. They're doing damage, but they're just not getting any kills. It looks like they're able to somehow keep alive with the help of the Bio Grenade plus the Biotic Field out of Exceed. The two bios sticking together to make sure they maintain control of that one, but the payload is still moving for quite a big distance.
It's actually pretty neat what they did there. They didn't commit everything up top. They were just kind of sitting on the payload, and that was going to be the fallback point. They have not gotten any kills. It is the defense who's now starting to clean up, but despite getting the payload pretty far, now it's just a matter of walking up there again. Although, in theory, the execution was where it needed to be. Everyone went up. D.Va, Winston, Genji all went up there at the same time. The sleep dart was nice to knock down the defense matrix and keep D.Va on the ground for a moment, so that was really helped them catch the dive right there. but they came in the exact angle and they all went well together. It's just a matter of the defense defending the dive a little better than the dive was executed.
Well, no, yeah, so you had BBR there as well on the Lucio, so you had just too much healing to deal with.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the damage to do that. They didn't have a Biogran to stop the healing, so they should have maybe been able to recognize that and then immediately transition away. Like, yeah, you should not go for this again. Yeah, you buy some time, but you should immediately have the rest of your team go for the DPS, go for the tanks on the ground.
Yeah, I like that he just went up there knowing that he was going to prop Primal Rage, though. That's totally fine. Now here comes a Nano Visor on the ground looking for any sort of targets, only able to get one. So that is 2 ultimates traded for very, very little. But now the anti-heal is on. Baba cutting up in the back line, will clean up too. And that will be the offense going wild. And that's the time you can do the second dive with only Winston if you have the Primal Rage. You saw there. Cuts the ball out. Yeah, all 3 of them back there. And once you give up that ground in the room, Primal Rage comes out. If you don't hit that dart, that's it. You're going to get knocked around, and that dive is only a solo dive that totally works.
Oh, it's not over just yet. Actually, Soundbrand being used defensively here, but BBR is going to fall for some crime and immediately loses his exosuit in the midst of this as he just got the resuit back in. Xi can be pressured again by Winston on the high ground. Twitty try to force him back, which he should be able to do just that. They do pick up 1 kill, but 1 kill is not going to be enough to stop them from taking this checkpoint. But they do burn a lot of time here off the clock out of NYYRIKKI Esports. And yeah, like we're saying, like the dive was perfect. And I think when Twitty did go high ground to force those 3 back, the rest of his team collapsed on other people to get those kills, which is exactly what you need to do.
It's really smart to be able to cut them in half like that. And also, I don't mind actually the stagger on the secondary defense on the second point, because you want to come in, you want to avoid getting split spawns as well. So if you're going to be alive out there anyway, Gibraltar is the worst for it when it comes to split spawning. So right now, they're in a very good spot offensively. You want to own the shuttle on second phase. That's been the case of Gibraltar ever since the beginning of time, and Gibraltar forced out to transcend here. Offense going very, very deep, but they're getting rewarded for it as they're picking up kill after kill. And now they might even just drop them off the edge.
Well, the payload's being contested. I think that's what Wimera actually doing now. He's buying a lot of time. Actually, Wimera and Krima together do deal with the people. The payload, so yeah, you are pushed up. You are prevented from getting back there, but you've lost so much time on the push. Luckily for them, though, it looks like Tapo Masa was able to finish off the kills and is able to continue this payload into the second phase here. Helsinki Reds, they're really struggling to stop this route, to stop this bleed of this progression that NYYRIKKI Esports is able to continue to push.
Well, they finally let them in as the Winston had to get off the car and go, or get off the window and go back a little bit. We'll get out some early trades. Visor comes in, and this is the stabilizing fight that Helsinki Reds needed. They absolutely had to get these kills, and now this becomes much more difficult for the offense. Gibraltar can switch just like that. Momentum-wise, it's a beautiful late stagger, too. It's going to buy them even more time. Because where you saw the offense set up before on top of the shuttle with the wings, that's exactly where the defense is going to be, and it's very difficult to dislodge them. You're going to have to start doing your offensive dive yet again, but just towards the top of the shuttle.
The thing is, I feel like if you jump up there, they're going to fall back because no healers up there. There's Zenyatta on the low ground. They have Lucio there as well. So it's not like you're going to be able to heal anyone in that position. You have to depend on Xi being able to run away. But they're going to be going towards the Mega here, actually sending people directly on the shuttle. They get immediately forcing Xi off. Problem is, they've already lost out on 2, though, because they've been flanked towards the back with their 2 tanks going up towards the shuttle.
Not only was it 2, it was both their healers. You can't continue on this fight with both of your healers out of it, and they're going to notice that Baba does have to use Blade, and he's down to 30 HP. Just be happy to get out with his life. He does not, as Exceed finds him creeping around. And now this needed to be a reset about 10 seconds ago, and they're not quite doing it. It's going to get a little bit dangerous here, and they sense blood in the water does the defense will barrier into this.
Why not let them barrier and save your chance for the next fight? Unless they feel like they can really win it here. Krima is going to be using his blade a little bit later on. Remember, Krima, who was playing the Diva before that the Zarya, is now playing the Genji for them. But it hasn't been, well, at least from what we've been seeing, too successful just yet. Does get the kill on the parry, though. Does get the dash reset, but Tapo Master won't be able to take him down. Even Tondra in his baby Diva form is able to secure himself the kill. The payload's still moving. Now, Seekers have to throw people onto this to at least slow it down.
Well, they don't have to, but they're going to. Winston comes in right now, gets a little bit of cleave, but with the Discord, going to be difficult. Exceed actually over the top with Tactical Visor, going to clean the rest of this up. That'll be the defense stabilizing yet again. And if they want to have any more notions of going further in this map, Ricky has to find something for this next fight as we near only 30 seconds on the clock.
All right, so what do they have? Ost, we see them already make big plays before with the pulse bomb. Might be able to do it again. We do have pretty well with the Transcendence, though. That's going to be, I think, the big turning point. If they can use this Trance, maybe try to use it to counter out Baba if he ever builds up his blade in time. It's going to be very tricky for Pretty Wise to use it at the right moment because you know the clock is so low and they're going to have to throw themselves on the payload. But if you can just save it for that crucial ultimate, which could turn the tides, you can see yourself to be a hero. Rick about to have his Primal Rage too. He's able to stall for time, knock them back. Well, 10 seconds left to go. NYYRIKKI, this is the last chance here to push his payload.
ASUS back into spawn with his pulse bomb as Grima hit him with a nice volley of shurikens, and all the kills now going in favor of Helsinki on the defense. Desperation Transcend is not exactly how you wanted to use that. You would like to push in with it, but you have to try something here towards the end. Only the supports left, only the Zenyatta left. A victory Transcend on the defensive side of things as he will pop it, stopping NYYRIKKI before they even get to second point. Helsinki Reds with a very clear path to victory.
All right, so what, now they have to get to the second point basically to finish this one off?
Just about it, yeah.
First point defense was all right, I think they committed to that 3-man stack up top a little bit too long because they should have known after the first time, it's like, all right, they can probably expect it to be there again.
Right.
Maybe spread things out a little bit more.
I actually like it when teams move over to the other side. It gives your soldier like a lot less angles. What I like is you take both supports from that corner where everyone's behind the crate, and then you move them towards the other doorway. You keep the soldier up there as bait, and so then when the Winston jumps up, you rotate over. Then you still have the 3-stack that he wasn't expecting.
And you still have the Mega there too,
yes,
and another angle to shoot from.
Yes, the angle stays the same for the soldier, but his support is there, and especially if you're running Ana, she doesn't need to be in your pocket the whole time, right? And like you mentioned, she's got the distance healing. So yeah. I think they could have done something more interesting there. I did like on the defense, though, when they had the Transcend for that last push, that the leash of the players in the shuttle was very short. Of like, if you get pressured at all, just drop to the ground. We'll Transcend if we have to.
I think that's what they're doing for the most part, actually. Like, because Exceed realizes, well, both my healers are on the ground floor. Like, what am I really gonna do up here?
Right.
Like,
you've got your own healing, but like, don't play with fire like that. Because if you lose him, you lose all your consistent damage.
And you lose like. Well, you're pretty much giving the offense another avenue to attack you from another direction.
My favorite 76s are the most boring 76s. You know, I get mad at Soldier 76s who are like, I'm going to watch this flank. You know, watch this. I like 76s who are alive, who get down to half health, and are like, I'm out. Because I like 76s who do damage, and you can't do damage from spawn. All right. Well, Helsinki Reds and NYYRIKKI.
Just emotional damage. That's the only kind of damage you can do. Why didn't you heal me, Ana? I was trying, please. It's my first time. I'm 12.
Is that your Ana impression?
That was my
the Ana over the
impression.
mic. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah, I'm for it.
All right, so any changes? Pretty much for the most part, no. NYYRIKKI's running exactly the same thing.
NYYRIKKI's playing much more aggressively, though. Yeah, they're right up front here. This is where you want to set up if you're going to play an offensive defense, if you were. Right around the corner, you get all this free cleave damage. That is really, he gets very low, has to back out. It will get healed up, so now they're going to go to the second perch. And they're making him fight for every inch, not necessarily getting kills, though. If they really want to commit to this, they will dive in, and Twiddy does dive in, but he's the only one who got the memo that they were ready to go. He goes down, they try to follow it up, and another Helix Rocket. Offense get 2 quick kills.
How's he not dead? How is Red not dead? He put himself in a bad corner. He put himself, like, actually cut off the rest of his team with no healers. He doesn't die because of the bubble placement? That's really unfortunate for NYYRIKKI, and that's going to allow so much progress. Like, the thing is, if you're WuMera, push in, get high ground. Like, if you're the side of Helsinki Red, just take away a lot of positioning from them and don't let them get high ground control again.
Well, they're doing that right now. But you see both the Winston and the Genji already up, looking through left side to try to cover that door. Now they know that they're going to come up because it's been so slow. Yeah, they're trying to get them up there. Both 3 up there. Discord will go down, and the dive has come in from both sides. A barrier on the side of Reds, but a little late to save the Winston. Blades out. Able to get 2. That might be enough.
Oh, it's a nice double strike there. It's a nice double slash.
Why do you sound barrier after that? So even if he thought he was going to get the Tracer in that, you'd already lost 2 very important parts of your team. And then the late sound barrier onto that, I don't mind staggering. I don't mind fighting on the cart. I mind wasting ults on the cart, and I feel like that one wasn't great. Here's a all right. All right.
And it's
what do you think? What do you think, Jason? Am I wrong in that?
No, you're not wrong. I mean, they're trying to buy time. The thing is, it's like the momentum shift in the second phase is so hard to stop. And when you've invested both your support ultimates, you have nothing to stop the attack visor unless you have Tundra stick into his face. Like, you just don't have the tools you need in your kit anymore.
Well, perhaps
to put on a good stagger.
Perhaps they were thinking that second is hard for them to defend, and if we're gonna win this, we need to stop them at first. Maybe that's the mentality going into it. Well, you throw it at it, but now already in trouble, gonna have to find a way to enter. That's a nice little DMEC onto WuMera, though, and that is going to actually prompt out a visor as well. Only the D.Va is the one fully down. They do end up getting the Zenyatta somewhere in the mix here, as ults are popped all around for NYYRIKKI.
Oh, the read out of Twitty.
Crunching him right there. Twitty's had himself a good game, too, and the players that we've highlighted have done really well for this squad. they will stabilize on defense, and Gibraltar is a map that might be it. You know, once you get set up on defense, once the main doors close, you have 4 bad options to choose from on how you want to get in.
They like stabilized when they shouldn't have though. That was the confusing thing. Like
yes.
I didn't imagine them to really be able to do that with what ultimates they already used, the double support ultimates, and yet able to come back. I think Helsinki got a little bit too aggressive. NYYRIKKI especially were getting just early on. Asked, unfortunately not going to connect that pulse bomb. The rest of the team there, you can see them just attacking from the high ground like vultures, attacking a weak prey.
Well, Transcendence has come down from both sides as they duel and look at each other awkwardly. Bunny Blaster is out trying to get some damage. The Sound Bearer comes in for Helsinki Reds. They need to capitalize on this. They do just that. 2 quick kills. Both supports now down for NYYRIKKI. It's going to be very difficult. They're going to have to clutch it out based on their tank and DPS play. They will be able to fight again with their supports. The self-destruct goes a little too far. Bowls through, but okay. Lucio didn't see it. They are doing a good job of stalling this out and waiting for their supports to get back in, but they have to fight next. Helsinki Reds, if they get this to the point, they will be the winner of the first set here. NYYRIKKI in bad spot, but they Sound Bear trying to stop this.
They've got bladed at Krima too, and Krima just hasn't been able to close the gap necessarily. At least pick up the kills. He does get the reset, but that reset's not going to give him a direction of anyone else to secure the kill. There's still 2.5 minutes left, and that's going to be at least Bobby using his own tack prize. The thing is now he's going to have his own Wume there to buy a lot of time to at least prevent him from getting into the kills. And speaking of kills, NYYRIKKI are just falling one by one by one. Helsinki Reds have been able to pick up so many of these, and it's no doubt in my mind that they're going to finish off this match here and get themselves through into the winner's match.
Exceed does put on the visor, and that will clean it up there in our very first opening salvo here in Group B. Not quite it for NYYRIKKI, and I gotta say, I'm a little, well, I don't know how surprised I am, but NYYRIKKI comes really close. That was one of the closer sets we've had overall, and all the maps close between both these teams. Helsinki Reds, though, will pull it off. They will be going to the winner's match, but we have to, well, I believe they're going to be playing Gigante.
I think so. I mean, their match was done before we finished the second map. I think even the first round, the second map, so
yeah,
it was a very one-sided match. But that's what we should expect out of the best Finnish team in the world.
Yeah.
But then again, they have like really awkward moments where they just are like one of the worst teams I've ever seen. And then other moments where they're playing really well.
Yeah, they're confusing. Well, even against, I mean, maybe it's something we might see tomorrow, but against Gamers Origin, you look at the last 2 times they faced Gamers Origin. One time Gamers Origin got stomped 0-4, and then Gamers Origin beat them 3-1.
Yeah.
So it's like you just never know which team's going to show up. It's been odd. But I believe that
was during though like their time where they're trying to like rebuild the team though.
Yeah,
like Linkster and fitting where he is with Zappis, and
it was an inopportune time to be rebuilding though because it was during contenders. So
yeah, probably not the best thing.
Yeah, but they've definitely got a retooled roster now. Davin is going to be on that team too. So the schedule for us right now is we're going to go to winners, and then we're going to go to losers, and then deciders. So we got a lot of bonus Overwatch for you coming your way.
We finally get to see how the team with Davin and Linkster is doing. Very gigantic. So we'll see how that's going to work out for them.
I do think we have an interview going to be
I just heard we're going back in the game.
Are we going
but
back
I'm not sure why we're going back in the game. Oh, there we go.
Halo. Microphone. Toimi. Yay. Now we got sounds again. Thank you. Congratulations, Helsinki Reds, on your first victory.
Thank you.
It was quite close and quite tough match. What do you think?
Yeah, on some points we kind of failed with our comps and stuff, but it went pretty well in the end.
Was it surprised that they were so good on a couple of the moments?
Yeah, maybe, or maybe not. You know.
So you're gonna play against the ex-RIP lineup, the new Team Giganti. How's that gonna go?
We'll see. I think it's going to be a pretty tough game, and hopefully we will win.
All right, good luck on your next game. And for that note, we're gonna head to a commercial break. But when we get back, it is the winners match in the Group B between the Helsinki Reds and Team Giganti. Don't go anywhere.